when the British Empire faced the greatest defeat. In the rolling hills of southern Africa, where the wind moves like a whisper through tall grass, a storm once gathered, not of thunder and rain, but of shields, spears, and unbreakable pride. This was the story of the Zulu resistance, a people who stood against an empire that believed it could never be defeated. In 1879, the mighty forces of the British Empire marched into Zululand with confidence. They carried modern rifles, artillery, and the unshakable belief that African resistance would crumble before them. But they misunderstood one thing: the spirit of the Zulu nation. At the heart of that nation stood Setshwayo Kompane, a king who did not seek war but would not bow to humiliation. The British demanded that he dismantle the Zulu military system, the very backbone of his kingdom. It was not a request. It was an ultimatum. And Setshwayo knew, to accept would mean the slow death of his people's independence. When war came, it came like lightning. At the Battle of Isandlwana, Zulu warriors, armed mainly with traditional spears known as igwa and cowhide shields, moved with breathtaking coordination. They used a formation called the Horns of the Buffalo, encircling their enemy with speed and discipline. Against all expectations, they crushed a large British force and killed up to 1,700, around 1,400 were killed at the Battle of Isandlwana alone. It was one of the greatest defeats ever suffered by British troops against an indigenous army. The world was stunned. How could warriors with spears defeat soldiers with guns? The answer was not just courage, it was unity, strategy, and fierce loyalty to land and king. The Zulu fighters were not mercenaries. They were sons defending their fathers' graves. They were brothers fighting for their mothers' homes. But empires do not forget humiliation. Subscribe to get the full history.